tuned for my interview with Ryan from the Marvel team, talking all things Marvel Legends. And as a little treat, Hellfire Hank, meet Hasbro Hank. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And before I play my interview with Ryan Ting that happened this weekend at MCM Comic-Con in London, I wanted to just say that obviously I use the term interview very loosely as I try and have more of a conversation. We all know how these things work. They can't actually tell us what figures are coming next year. They can't actually get into the nitty-gritty and the toy politics. So instead of wasting my time asking questions they can't answer, I just try and have a good time and have a fun conversation about Marvel Legends, and hopefully along the way I get a few little nuggets that we can dissect that give us some hints on the future and what characters we may be getting. And I think I get a couple, but Ryan is very good at what he does. So anyway, I will throw it over to myself at MCM with Mr. Ryan Ting talking Marvel Legends. Pow! As always, my name is Dan W and we are here at MCM Comic-Con in London at the Hasbro booth panel. And look what I found. It's Mr. Ryan Ting from the Marvel Hasbro team. And we have just had a panel with lots of reveals, a brand new Spider-Man wave. So let's discuss. But before we get into Spider-Man, I have to talk about a big man who arrived on the UK shores.
He did.
And recently got successfully funded. So congratulations on Giant Man.
Thank you. It was quite a journey, as everyone, I think, refreshing the page on that last day, October 23rd.
Oh, well, I was one of them. I stayed up late.
Even later for you.
Yeah,
I thought I was tired.
3 in the morning, I'm like, are we going to unlock? What are we going to unlock? I was ready for it.
Yeah, so that was, Brandon, who did the panel with us.
Yeah, shout out Brandon. People may recognize Brandon if they see the
familiar
panel.
Face, familiar voice. But Brandon was saying, hey, we really want all the HasLabs at London MCM. The Ghost, we want Dragonfly, we want Giant Man. And I said, Brandon, I would be more than happy to send Giant Man if he funds.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going to happen. And so I'm really glad that it all worked out. And just want to, again, thank all those fans who supported the project, who backed it, who maybe didn't back it, but appreciated what we were doing and shared out the story, shared out the information, helped spread the word, because I think when the campaign backs with a little over 3 hours left to go, every single thing counted, every single thing mattered. And so just sharing those stories out, reminding people, if that got then reshared, however things work on social media, that's all important. So thank you everyone for helping make Giant Man a reality.
Live streaming, pushing it out. As I said, it was exciting. And we got close, Ryan. We got so close. Technically, Pulse is telling us 111 away from the scroll head. So a lot of people are asking, what is the potential of that scroll head? Like, did we get close? Are the ordered numbers final? So let's clarify what's going on with the scroll head.
So I think the number you see at the end of the campaign, which is locked on the page right now, that number might have slight variations. I'm talking slight, nothing that's going to swing us under 13,000 certainly, right? But I don't know that we were exactly 111. I don't know that that's the most scientific, but unfortunately the way HasLab terms are written, we're not able to throw in the scroll head with the overall campaign because we did still miss that 14,000. Now, that being said, if fans still like that scroll head, still want it, it's sculpted, it's approved, it's ready to go, I'm personally trying to find a way to maybe couple it with another item to put out also on the Pulse. This is just a for instance, this is not confirmation.
We're just brainstorming.
But I know that fans have been asking for the Skrull Troopers to be rerun.
Absolutely. I would like some more.
And that they kind of go together, potentially. I'm just saying. So those types of things we would still look at. But no, to answer your question, as much as we would love to, the Skrull head is not going to be part of that base offering, but you will get the zombie head, you will still get everything, the white antenna, the black antenna, the 3 face plates that are interchangeable, the
18
different eyes,
different options, 18,
the different eyes, a lot of them. So
no, it was good. As I said, I'm happy he's here. I'm going to go and visit him later. He's having a nap in a minute. It's a little bit...
we'll wake him up.
It's fine. You didn't bring Wasp, though. Is Dwight keeping that tight to himself at the minute?
The reason why we didn't bring Wasp is because it was such an early EP that Dwight showed a couple of days before the campaign ended that the colors are not where he wanted it.
Okay.
So because that's what the team does when they get the EPs, they can really tweak certain things like deco paint on the costume, and then we'll get several other stages which will culminate in an FEP, which is like a final engineering pilot, I want to say that stands for, and then that includes packaging, and often we take those FEPs and do all the e-com shots you see because they're more final. And changes can still even happen after FEPs sometimes, but that's why we didn't bring it, because it didn't look quite right, but we did want fans to know that she was coming, so we released the digital render, and then Dwight had those in-hand pictures as well.
So Wasp is a beautiful accompanying piece to Giant Man, and throughout the campaign everyone was asking maybe for a smaller scaled version of that Giant Man or a Hank Pym. Can we safely say that we'll be excited in 2024 that we may get some more accompanying characters to complement Giant Man when he eventually gets here?
I'll say we're not completely done in that regard, but not going to confirm any particular characters at the moment. I think the Wasp, to me, was the most important, just because if you look at those first couple of issues from the Avengers, which I have, I went back on the app, you know, every character is now accounted for except that Wasp. And so now with Wasps coming out somehow, some way in 2024, I think that team is kind of complete. Yes, Hank Pym has had a ton of other costumes throughout the years, but that wasn't as urgent to me in my mind. But Giant Man is real, Giant Man's happening, and so I think that will factor into our future decisions as well and types of characters we pursue.
He's over the line, he's here, we're happy to see him, so I look forward to seeing it later in the year. But what you revealed today and yesterday at 10:27 was something close to my heart, was a wave of Spider-Man card back, shall we say, because it's not technically all retro based now, and you went for what I predicted, I said this to you earlier, three new styles, three retro, which is what we got. So a quick rundown on them here. We got the Scarlet Spider-Man, which is obviously going to be a fan favourite, I think, amongst people, on the Renew Your Vows body. So he's got all the new articulation, and then the blue sort of hoodie is an overlay, so it doesn't hinder any of the new articulation. Exactly that. And then we've got the Last Stand Spider-Man, which is like a more modern costume, more modern day costume. We've got Jack-O-Lantern in this old school sort of style, and instead of a broom, he's got like this floaty disc from back in there, and those are oranges attached to his belt. Do they all come off?
Just the one comes off on the left, the front there, that he can hold, and it can plug back in, so he has.
So the rest are actually glued on. One comes off.
I believe so.
Okay, cool. So that was cool. Okay, that's good to clarify. And then we got a Spider Shooter. Is it Spider Shooter from the What If? Is that what you called him?
So we're calling him on pack Spider Shot.
Spider Shot. Okay.
He kind of just in that one issue. They don't give him a special name.
So
it's
you
just
named him.
He's just Spider-Man in that universe, or Peter Parker. So that's what we just kind of differentiate.
And he's got like these new hands with the paw in the hands, right?
So you can take a closer look at the figure. He kind of has two pointing fingers, and there's a little port kind of where your thumb might be, and then it accepts the blast piece as if he's blasting out. If you go back again in that app or that issue, there's a certain panel that I think that is inspired from, and you can see where that's from.
If I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen. And then we also got a brand new Tombstone.
Brand new.
So is that a newer, thicker body, pinless body?
It is. So it's completely pinless. It's brand new. It is not the Old Man Logan suit body that you've seen. He's just overall taller and thicker that you'll see, and completely pinless. And I failed to mention this on the panel, but he, like the Last Stand Spider-Man, has a ball joint articulation at the waist. So even though he has a full-length closed jacket, the jacket is not meant to be open.
So no traditional ab crunch. But you've got the ball joint.
But you can get some twist. You can get a little bit of forward, and you can get some back for those fighting poses.
Very nice. And then the last one, very on theme for Halloween, was Hallows Eve.
That's right.
Yeah, so she is from the Dark Web storyline. So she'll be a nice accompanying piece for Chasm, who was in the last sort of same style car back as well.
Yeah, they're going to look great together.
Very nice, yeah, she looks great. First time in the line for a character, which I always like adding brand new characters. And there was another character in that storyline that I think people are clamoring to get hold of. From
interesting.
Again, let's not bring up what shall not be mentioned, but Goblin Queen Madeline Cryer and a different costume design. Maybe she would be a nice sort of to complete the little trio of bad guys.
Maybe that would be funny if Madeline came out on a Spider-Man card.
It would make sense. It would make sense.
We shall see.
Okay, cool. So like moving forward this year, retro cards and plastic packagings back throughout the whole brand? It's like in 2024, is there any more plastic-free packaging? Will a few more maybe creep through the cracks?
So that's a good question to clarify. There might be a small number of closed boxes, but that's going to be due to deluxe awkward shaped things or things that we had to break apart. Otherwise, the box would be way bigger than it needed to be.
Like the 2 Spider-Man deluxes coming out recently, the 2 movie ones.
Yeah, exactly. So Doc Ock and the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
But no, for waves and for most individually packed figures, we're back to window boxes.
Beautiful.
And I, as an impact collector, welcome that.
Of course.
You feel the same in some for the blister cards. So yeah, every Build-A-Figure wave, individually 6-inch figures, they're going to be back in a window box.
Good to know. I genuinely think that's a big deal for collectors, because I think the packaging is also part of the experience, and like it was just frustrating. Obviously people struggle with change anyway, but sometimes you don't need to change what works, if you know what I mean. So I'm glad to see it back. So moving forward, Spider-Man retro cards, I've got plenty of space on my wall still to go, but I'm in a redesign at the minute, and I'm still thinking about a hexagon house. I think it's a possibility.
Okay.
So like
more walls?
So yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you know what I need for the walls? More retro cards. So I would like to see you revisit stuff like the Iron Man. We only got the Iron Man and War Machine before the sort of plastic-free packaging fizzled away. So now that's an option. Are we likely to see in 2024 any of these popular card back designs make an appearance again throughout the year?
I'll just say that Ben on our packaging creative services team and Harry Moore, who does the illustrations for those retro Toy Biz inspired things, it certainly would be a shame if those guys created a whole Iron Man inspired retro line to just do 2 items.
I know.
That would be a shame.
I know.
So
Mandarin look great card. You could do Iron Man designs all day long at the card. Tony Stark would be a great one.
That original line went pretty deep in the Toy Biz days.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there. I'd love to create another wall opposite the Spider-Man wall for Iron Man. So that's my next love. So going back to Spider-Man, you have said this during the New York Comic-Con that the VHS box sets in 2024 will continue as Spider-Man 2-packs.
Yeah, I guess we did end up confirming that.
Yes, you've said it. Dan said it too.
Well, Dan's the Spider-Man.
He's in trouble now.
No, Dan's the Spider-Man animated expert. So, and he's the authority on that. But so the 4th 2-pack this year was Smythe and Peter Parker, and that program will continue in 2024. We'll see a couple more.
A couple
2-packs.
So will it be 4 more 2-packs, or do you not want to give us the number?
No, I don't want to give you the exact number.
Okay.
But place your bets.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Dan sort of gave us a clue and sort of said the characters may not be what you expect to be packed together. Would you agree with that?
I think, again, he's the expert on that show.
Okay.
I think he's probably seen every episode. I certainly have not, but I do know that a bunch of other characters appeared in that show, and it doesn't. There's only one Peter Parker in that universe, and we've done him twice now in the suit. I guess the polo version could be a fun one.
There was a Spider-Verse episode, lots of different Spider-Verse costumes.
Okay, all right, well, yeah.
I know, I'm just throwing a few out there, like random ones. Of course, Chameleon, I nearly rioted. Chameleon was what I wanted to see revealed today. It wasn't revealed. I was thinking about getting up, getting my chair, throwing it, starting a riot, but it was Brandon's first panel, so I didn't want to spoil the fun for Brandon. But Chameleon on a retro card or VHS, it needs to happen, Ryan, all right?
Yeah,
needs to happen.
That is one that Dan is continuing to go to bat for, so hopefully he will come out sooner rather than later.
Okay, good. Chameleon, Vulture, people want Blade, Punisher, there you go. So I'll move on with that. And something else you also confirmed, or maybe, I think Dan confirmed it with a little bit of peer pressure from the community, but he says we will be getting a legendary rider in 2024. So, you never really refer to the riders of the past. Do you know, like the Squirrel Girls? Can we confirm it's not a Squirrel Girl repaint?
Can confirm.
Whoa, breaking news, it's not a Squirrel Girl repaint. So
that was a fun figure.
No, I like Squirrel Girl, but I'm just saying, you know what people are like, we're just putting it out there, alright? So you never refer to them as legendary riders in the past. So you just refer to them as riders, they were getting riders.
Oh.
So now that you've mentioned legendary riders, the Toy Biz wave was called legendary riders. We got like Scarlet Witch on some weird floaty thing, Wonder Man on I think Thing was on a weird thing as well.
Yeah.
Can we confirm it's a more common vehicle? Is it a bike or some sort of vehicle that actually exists?
I don't think the word legendary or just riders.
Are we thinking too much into it?
Yeah, I think you kind of are.
Okay.
So when we did the riders So that would have been before. I think that was a little bit before Dan. But when we set it up, it was an assortment. They were all in the similar size box. Wave 1 was Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, Black Widow, and Wolverine, I believe, on a similar bike.
Yeah, and then Punisher, Black Widow.
And then Wave 2 was Deadpool.
And the Vespa.
What was it? It was Deadpool, Professor X, and maybe Deadpool. Was he that
Punisher,
one?
Frank Castle was on the back of a car, a bike.
Yeah, and then I think the last one was like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Anyways, the one legendary rider, we're not doing like another series of them.
So it's just one. We're gonna get one legendary rider.
And I think when we do vehicles, we're not as because like when you set it up as an assortment, this is like very technical.
Okay.
When you set it up as an assortment, the boxes all need to be the same. Your price point is the same.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were all motorcycles essentially, or scooters.
Yeah.
But then when we get to things like Hawkeye and the Sky Cycle, or this next item that's coming out, because they're not part of a series, they can flex up or down or whatever.
Be a little bit more unique.
Whatever is needed.
Okay.
But I think to give a little more color to that tease,
yes, please do.
you guys are gonna love it.
Okay.
So I'll just leave it at that. You guys are really, really gonna love it. It is not Squirrel Girl, as great as she is. It is not a character that we have. It is not a version of that character
it's a new
that
character.
we've done.
Okay. So it's a character that we haven't had on a vehicle. Okay, cool. Something new. And again, the advantage of doing one figure means, like you said, it can be a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
So don't expect the same format of the long box with something like that.
Exactly.
Something new.
Yep.
Okay, good to know. Okay, let me see what else I've got. Okay, so MCU, not a lot of MCU things, so I do want to just clarify, next year, during 2024, the MCU schedule is going to be very sloppy, which I guess is going to
You said it, not me.
Yeah, so I'll say it. Next year, the MCU schedule is going to be very sloppy. None of the movies have been confirmed. They're being pushed around. There's no solid dates yet for any of the MCU films, which may frustrate you, making Marvel Legends to get released at the time of these movies. So I guess in 2024, it may be a little bit more awkward. So does that give you an opportunity to revisit like the Infinity Saga like you have just recently? They're on sale today, the new Infinity Saga, to give us updates, upgrades, or can we still expect current movie releases when the time is right next year?
It's a case-by-case basis. We just have to really roll with the punches and adapt as quickly as we can. Sometimes we do product lines and then the movies shift way back. That happened to us on things like Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi moved a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for us to delay product than bring product in earlier. I think answer your main question, when a movie does push out, we are not really able to, on the fly, bring something else in because everything is on a certain track. Mm-hmm. So even though movie XYZ might be done, that movie moves out, it's not like we can all of a sudden pull that other wave in because that was scheduled separately.
Agreed,
But I think for upcoming films, major films you see, we will have things either before, during, or after the film comes out. At some point during
the year.
And it depends on really kind of how much the movies move. If it's a month here or there, the release cadence might stay the same.
Yeah.
If the movie pushes into a next, this is just for instance, right? Not anything in particular, but in the past, when a movie has pushed into the following year, maybe it was slated for an end of the year film and then it goes to the beginning of the next year or something like that. That's a little bit more tricky, and we're a little bit more inclined to hold product, but when it's just a couple of months, we kind of just go with it because we have to, or you won't get the retail space for it, and it's better to have it than not. But
I just think people, whenever these films do come out, like the Deadpools and the new Captain America, the Thunderbolts, people are just going to be clamoring for the toys. But again, it's much harder to plan for that type of stuff when the schedules are being pushed around. So that's all.
And kind of our solve, if you want, will be, if the product is coming out later than the movie, for whatever reason, we'll reveal and we'll still try to pre-order it. We did that this year with Ant-Man because Ant-Man and Guardians flopped. Guardians was supposed to come out first. The Ant-Man product wasn't ready for February, I believe, when the movie came out, but we were still able to reveal and pre-order the wave.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm looking for, and can we, in regards to the MCU, just last question, do people need to be patient? But of course, characters like the Lizard, are on your radar. Who is it you're missing from the No Way Home? It's Lizard, and who's the other villain? Electro, yeah. So are they still maybe potentially?
Well, that's just a good lesson in life. Patience for anything.
Okay, Cat did teach us that. He did teach us that. Okay, and then last thing, right? I'm just going to throw some teams out there and some characters. So these are characters that just one figure will complete a team, okay?
Okay.
So we're in the UK, so of course Excalibur, UK repping, we need Rachel Summers, okay? We've got Destiny for the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We've got Wolfbane for X Factor, Feral.
All X-Men characters,
yeah.
okay.
And then we've got a character like, so I'm gonna just end that. Can you confirm right here, exclusive from Dan Who Reviews, that one of these teams, you don't have to say who or what.
You only listed 4 though.
Okay, I'll throw some more. Okay, Starjammers, the OG of Guardians, like the Charlie 27s and stuff, and then the giant size X-Men. We still need that repainted Banshee. So there's a few more for you, right?
A few more.
Will one of those teams be completed in 2024?
I will say, because this is your home field advantage.
Thank you. Yeah.
We are here in London.
Yeah.
I will say yes.
Yes.
1.
So that's a small window. So Rich, get writing. Rich, get that list together. We'll break this down.
I hope. These guys got their next week's agenda.
Tune in to the live stream next week.
Out.
Me and Rich will figure it out. Don't you worry. But Ryan, honestly, pleasure. Welcome to the UK. Good to see you here. Hopefully you come back. Hopefully I get to visit your side of the pond soon as well.
New York, San Diego, Rhode Island. Yeah. I don't know if you have any.
Just stop releasing Legends for a while so I can put some money to the side. That's what it is, all right? But thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
We'll see you on the next one. So thank you once again to Ryan Ting for his time at MCM Comic Con in London. It was good to do that not on Zoom for a change, and I do appreciate him letting us get a closer look at Hank, who otherwise just was lying in the cabinet all along. As Giant Man, I needed to see how tall he was in comparison to other Marvel Legends, so we woke him up and he got to meet Hellfire Hank as well, which was fun, so I appreciate that. And also we did get a few little nuggets, nothing too crazy, but I think it's safe to assume we're going to get some more retro cards in 2024. I'm thinking more in the Iron Man sort of world, as we have only got 2 in the past. Otherwise, we're going to get some more Spider-Man VHS cards. I think it's pretty safe to say that Chameleon is going to be on those VHS cards as well. If not, I will definitely riot next year. Of course, Legendary Riders is an interesting one as well, as we all assumed it may be Danny Ketch, but the way Ryan was speaking, maybe he's trying to throw us off the scent, but the way it's a unique character and we're only getting one and it's in a different style box, maybe it isn't a bike, maybe it isn't Danny Ketch, as we have got a couple of Ghost Riders already in War Riders form. So the fact he was saying it's a new character, it's got me thinking. So you let me know what you think it could be in the comments below, but I don't think it's anything we're going to expect anyway. When it comes to the MCU delays as well, I think it's guaranteed the delays are going to happen, but as he said, we will still see some pre-orders and we will still see some figures for the new Captain America movie, Deadpool of course, Thunderbolts, and I'm not really too sure what MCU Disney Plus shows are coming next year. Maybe Ironheart and Agatha Harkness, I'm not too sure. But anyway, still some MCU figures next year. But I am curious if the ratio from comic to MCU will change due to all of these delays in the movies. And then I did try and get like a little exclusive. Will one of these teams get complete? So we have narrowed it down, even though I would have guessed that one of these characters would be coming next year anyway. So safe to say, Rachel Summers, Destiny, Wolfbane, Feral, one of these will be coming in 2024. I think he wanted to confirm that, but he wanted me to throw in some extras. So I said Starjammers, I said the original Guardians of the Galaxy, and I threw in giant size X-Men, but I think that repainted Banshee is obvious as well. So hopefully one of those teams gets complete. Well, one of them he confirmed it. You just let me know in the comments below which one of those teams would you prefer to get completed, hopefully sooner rather than later. But anyway, fun times as always. Again, if you're here to the end, then you know what to expect on this channel. We like to have fun with this hobby. And if you like Marvel Legends, then you are in the right place. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much, much appreciated. You can also hit that join button and become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Much, much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, or X, whatever it's called. I don't know anymore. And as always, I will see you on the next one.